In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. The Lord be with you. As we begin again tonight, let us again continue to ask God to always fill us with His presence. That His presence is so safe and welcoming and always caring, so we can continue to be like Him. Amen. Amen. I know today I picked long story. Well, we read it a couple of weeks ago. Yes, remember? In a couple of weeks before Easter. So Jesus and the woman committing adultery is the sin. And basically, what I'm interested in is here. Moses commanded us to stone, to kill such a woman, adulteress. What do you say? And Jesus, they said to test him. But it was interesting that Jesus didn't say much. He started to just write on the ground, and they continued to bug him, and they say, continue to ask him, and he straightened up and said, let the one among you who is without sin throw the first stone. And one by one, they went away. And sometimes I always place myself like her, like standing, half naked, and people with the stones in their hand, and they're ready to throw, depending on what Jesus says. And that's a pretty scary thing to face with. I don't know if you have an experience like that. One time I went to Korea. I was 25 or 6 years old, and there was a lot of demonstration, like manifestation, and the police were throwing this the gas kind of thing, they were shooting at us. And I wasn't demonstrating, by the way, I wasn't there. I went as a vacation people. I was like a tourist. But they didn't care. It was like they started to shoot these, tear gas things. And I was like, wow, beautiful. They are beautiful. They come in this like big tank, and they start to and you're like, wow, what is that? Anyway. And you start to cry, and you don't know what to do. And they say, go and run, so you're not rubbing and just crying. Oh, I felt when that was. And the second part was, then after there was about 100 policemen just dressed up like this, on the normal, paisano. And he had this little called paddle. Boy, I started to run because they were just beating up everybody. And I said, wow, where am I? What a tourism that I had that day. But imagine like that, someone coming to like 100 guys, with the palos, and we were like, I wasn't there, one of them, okay? I said we, but there are people right there, and we start to run and run. It was pretty scary. And you feel like that, safety is gone, and you feel what to do. I can't imagine it. But again, woman, where are they? Jesus, one of the things that I love about Jesus, I bet you do too, he always creates this so safe presence. It's peace be with you. Safe, be safe in me. I'm the shepherd. Today's reading, there's 500 people, 5,000 people. And when you hear that they had a grass, it's like 5,000 people can sit down in the grass. Can you imagine in Chimayo, in the way to the Nambe, you have like all of a sudden it's all green grass and 5,000 people sitting there? I cannot imagine that. But that's what the Bible says. And it's like, wow, that's how, he feel, he's about to feel, and he create a safe environment. Okay? It's very important for us. So that's why when we start with this, Jesus said, I don't condemn you. You go and do not sin anymore. Because sin is always making oneself separate from God, in God's, in Jesus' mind. So we don't want to be away from God in a sense. Because despite all this, we do. Okay? It's like me too. When I was young, when I went to church, and the priest that was always kind of, it's like this. You come here, and the priest is always nagging you nagging you about coming late, when you're here, nagging you about, not coming to Sunday Mass. I mean, you are here, and I was realizing, I was here like 10 minutes before the Mass began. And I'm here, and he's nagging me like 5-10 minutes. And so I said, forget that, I'm not coming. My mom got all mad. That's why one of the things that as you start to go into more communication, creating a safe presence is very important. And I have this image of this. If you will see these clams, okay? Clams, I don't know why they have so many these dirt in themselves. I don't know how, because they have to digest that whenever they eat, right? So you cannot eat this because it will be so just all these items, sandy, okay? So before they have to take the let this sediment out, okay? The sediment, think about people's problems and difficulties, and they have to let them out. And how you let them out? It's like this. You see this black, ¿cómo se llama? Basura? The bag of the trash bag. Trash bag. You put salt water, and you cover it with this black trash bag, and you leave them alone. And about 8 hours. Little by little, they feel so just safe and dark and so cozy. They start to just spit out all this sand from them. That's how you take out the sediment of the plant. When they are alive, okay? When they are dead, don't worry, they are not going to do anything. But when they are alive, and you just got it from the sea, you want to make a pasta with this clam thing. If you get it right there from the ocean, you cannot eat it because it's just so sandy. So what you do is help them to spit out everything. And in those spitting out, is you and I, we are doing. Like those listening things that we have. You're not threatening them. Like Jesus is not saying, whoever has the stone to throw, go ahead. That kind of creating safety, palabras, the word that creates safety. Then the person that is in front of you start to speed up. It's like this. One day I was in the santuario, a couple of years ago, and I met first time striptease. Striptease? The one that strips? The girl dancer lady from Las Vegas. The first time I met someone real. I said movie, but I was like, wow, so you do work as striptease? And she's a professional dancer and all that stuff. So she sat down, and at first she was very defensive, So I started to ask questions, how was the life in Las Vegas that she enjoyed, that she made a lot of money? And she said, I don't know anything about that business. So, you start to ask those things. you say it stays in me, you don't have to worry about it. And so she started to say more. And she's from like a Balkan country. I don't know those, one of those countries. So she was trafficking, human trafficking, and she was dedicating to dance in the Las Vegas. And she was like 30-some years old, pretty. And she was saying all this. And while I was listening, and I started to feel there must be hard life, How, what about your family? That do you keep in touch? And she said no, because she's so ashamed and she doesn't want to talk to anybody. She was so just and she started to cry. And boy, I was with her like an hour and a half, I think, just listening her difficulty with the pimp. They call pimp. Her pimp is her boyfriend. Can you imagine? So she ran away from this guy. And it's a very interesting thing anyway. She was like crying. And I was like, by the time she left, I had her about 2 hours, right? And she was just spitting out, all that. And I was just there listening and asking questions again. You see, when you ask questions, your questions are to get information, what's happening, clarifying. And then you have to make them think also. It's like when she came here, I asked her, what was the dream that she had? And she started to tell me about the dreams and how that was frustrating because of the human trafficking of that. But she had a dream, coming here and making big bucks and helping her family and all this stuff. So you help them to bring those beautiful memories and dreams that she had. And also I started to ask, how was her family life? Terrible family life. But then what made her stand alone? So she was able to give me what made her live. What was her goal and dream and what she wanted to achieve. The thing that we had. I'm going to go back again. But as she was talking, after like a couple hours, she said, you know what? I'm going back to my country. I'm buying the ticket right now. And she was like a phone, buying the ticket there. And she said, I'm not going back. I don't like this life that I have. And so I asked her, what are you going to do over there? I don't know. But I'm going back. Okay. You need the money? Yeah, I give her $3. It's interesting how we can little question, help them to just little questions. And you rarely see them like taking their head up or their body up. They are very ashamed. That's why when you come to confession, it's not easy because showing your vulnerable part is never easy. It takes a lot of courage to do it, and you and I, with our presence, we give them courage. You can trust me. I am dead end. I am like a sepulcher. Whatever you say and talk, it stays in me. I'm sepulcher. Especially about things that is like that, hurt, difficulties. And you have to think about yourself like covering the person with you give them the salt water, your questions and your plans, and you cover this black thing over them so they are like all comfortable, and then they will spit out all the hurt and difficulties. Not easy job. We are not going to do it well, but practice makes interesting things. So and in order to practice, one of the good things that you have to think about is this. Okay? Imagine you hear the sound, the clap. Imagine clap is the problem. The sound is a problem. Okay? It takes two hands to make a sound, never one. Okay? Makes two to make a sound. So, whenever you are in conflict, because we are all different, you will be in conflict. It's very important that you start to see, okay, what's my part? Admitting that I am also part of the sum is very healthy. But sometimes we don't do that. Sometimes our fault is in someone else. When I was in the seminary 30 years ago, I was living with a guy. Living with a guy. Anyway, we are a bunch of guys, by the way. Anyway, and especially this guy, after we are okay, fine, but after some time, he will start to give me the silent treatment. He's very passive aggressive kind of guy. And so I go and ask, what's happening? And he started to say, you did that, you did that, you did that, you did that. I was like, did I? I don't even remember. Did I? When I was younger, the guy that was like taking out his list and telling me what I did wrong and wrong, I thought he was psychotic. He was like crazy guy. I never looked at myself as part of the problem. And I'm doing that now. I wish I had my right now maturity that I'm understanding that I'm part of the problem. That boy, because he left eventually the seminary. And I felt good. When he left, I felt like, paying out kind of feeling. I didn't feel any. I was that kind of guy. I was feeling right. He's wrong to be here. If he's accusing me like all this thing that I didn't do, better him to out. For him to be out. I am not fault. And I'm always right. That's self-defense. Okay. You and I, we have enough love for our lives, for ourselves. Self-love is very basis of coming to say, when I make a sound, yeah, I have a part in it. If you don't have self-love, you're going to defend. That's why it's important when you start to defend, you're not saying, I'm not part of the problem, then you have to start to think about, am I being loved? Or am I loving to myself? Then you go deeper to again. From that phase of self you grow up. Okay? So trading presence is very important. Knowing that you are also part of the sound. Okay? It's a humbling, but at the same time it's very healthy. You and I, we want to be healthy. Okay. I want to go over just a little bit more. Because again, behavior, someone screams at you, yell at you, la 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 la. Well, they don't go la 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 anyway. That's what they do. But that's what you see, because it's above the ice in the water, right? So then you have to go into the water. Okay? Thoughts and feelings and expectations, the need that is not met, the values that is kind of trouble, you go to deeper and deeper, and then you will know how the person is having this kind of problem. Okay? Here we come a little bit of practice. Well, hold it. Let me go this one more time. The three listenings, okay? Yes. Find and clarify, search the feelings, and focus on the treasures. Okay, these are the more or less where we talk. We are like investigator. We have to be an investigator, like a virus. Imagine coronavirus. We say, virus is bad. get out of my life. And we put like masks and we keep social distance to this virus. Fine. But that's one way of acting. When we start to say virus is bad, we're not going to learn much. The problem is bad and it's not my problem, then we're not going to learn much. Then we have to go to like a scientific kind of mind saying, okay, how does virus work? What is the lifespan? How does it impact or contagious or whatever? How do they work? We are in the investigating. So when people are mad at me and they are like all screaming at me, my mind is not like okay, I want my time to scream back. I don't have that thing. When it's screaming at me, what's bothering you? What did I do? No. And that helps the person to tell me what's happening. It's like again, Julio, with my dear Julio. He's not here today. My moral support is not here. I'm alone. But that's okay. Time to time, when we go out together, I am maybe I'm treating him just too much like a friend. Sometimes he feels I'm saying too friendly. I don't know. Rude. Maybe the word rude. I'm rude to him. I mean, without intention, okay? I want to be so close to this guy and just treat him like just one of my friends, very, very good friend. So sometimes I say things that is rude to him. And I noticed he was upset. Okay? So when he's upset, he's quiet. I know this guy. So I go and yesterday we were eating, maybe I bothered you and maybe what I said hurt you, and you can blah blah blah. He doesn't say much. No, you kidding me? So, but I checked what's happening. Then a little bit later, no. He noticed that I am hurting him, and then that's it. You see, we are going to be like more and more like investigator, not just a victim or defender all the time. Our attitude is like, this guy is screaming at me. Okay, time to see what's happening. My mind is silence. What's happening? I find the cause and reasons. And then I go to the feelings, Did that what I said hurt you? Did I say bother you? Did you feel like belittled by my words? Blah blah blah. And then I go to in the relationship, you always want to be respected. Who doesn't want to be respected? I mean, it's nice to have the boundaries too. Despite sometimes between husband and wife, the boundaries are different. Each one is different. Okay, that's what I'm saying. That we have different ways of living. And this is just a joke I put. This because yesterday I talked about the dog. Imagine I'm glad you clarified. Now, I want to test. This is another short clip, okay? And see how.
Morning, Hanson.
Morning, Mom.
It's me.
Yes, it is just so pretty in the morning.
Your mom and I need your breakfast.
Oh, so you guys are getting along?
Yes. We're very different people, Howard, so communication's a little tricky. Everyone, stand tight. He didn't try them yet.
Is there any butter?
Butter flavored syrup.
Dad wants the butter.
He wants butter.
by myself.
Now, maybe the facts are kind of tough. Between this law, maybe the mother and the daughter-in-law, maybe, right? What was the feeling that you had? They were screaming each other.
They weren't getting along.
Animosity is there.
Control's
there. Now, imagine the mother. Let's go to the mother. Mother is, what the word? Because why do we scream? Because we are dead? Because we did not answer. I bet many times this way that she answers the back is kind of, could you communicate a little more? Kind of feeling. Don't you get that feeling? The mother is cooking with this daughter-in-law. This is the way I think. Okay, this is how I just going to know when there's a problem like this. But you and I are thinking it's not just like, okay, they are screaming each other. They are in bad relationship. It's not the end of it. We have to go. What was happening with the mother? Of course, if the mother is there, we can ask. But since mother's not here, we cannot kind of imagine the mother was maybe frustrated. The daughter-in-law doesn't communicate that much. Time to time she feels left out. She's left out. Things like that. And then we go. So she's feeling is she's outstanding. She feels lonely. She feels like cut off. And we go to a little deeper to the values. Like she wants to be communicated. She wants to be. Who doesn't want to have a loving family, caring family? We all do that, right? Or same thing with the daughter-in-law. We leave me alone kind of attitude you see. Maybe she didn't practice. The mother doesn't practice much about these people have to get together. Like the Bible says, the woman and man come together, they leave father and mother, and they be a one body, right? But maybe the mother is having a hard time with letting son go. And so they are already enmeshed, like mingled. But again, the daughter is there to do something about it. You see, kind of things, she's frustrated, she feels like she's under control, and so she's annoyed. And then frustration comes out, okay, I'll get you one. And it would be nice to sit down with her and then, so you have her feelings, but she wants to make the family go, in peace. So you see also them going up and down, making the breakfast for her husband and whatever. Okay? You getting a little bit? Yes. You want to share another clip, just since we are in here?
So, if you've ruled out any medical problem and your child is still wet in the bed, he may be trying to tell you something.
He's going to have to pee.
So I think we're going to wrap it up for tonight. But before we do, are there any other questions? Yes, we have a 6-year-old daughter, and she's a great kid, but she's been having trouble listening and she's been very stubborn lately.
But that's every kid. It's just a phase, right?
Well, this is a perfect opportunity for you to try some active listening.
Yeah, we'll try.
Some active listening, I'm not familiar with that. Well, it's encouraging your child to express herself verbally without influencing her with your own preconceived notions or opinions.
Got it. Here we go.
Why don't we try to illustrate this with a little role play? Let's have you. Ready to sit?
No. No.
That was me. I was like that too. Then. So what did you see? How was him covering the 6-year-old kid, providing the safe environment? When she has to go to the grandma's party, birthday party, but she doesn't want to go. Conflict of interest. Oh, we all have different interests, so conflict right there. What do you do? Okay,
Get angry, upset.
getting angry, upset, and when you scream at her like, if you're not going, you'll be grounded for a couple of months. No TV. So, are we getting angry is very important to know. Because this little kid, 6-year-old, being stubborn and unreasonable. So you get all upset. Of course you get upset. But again, what she says is, it's your emotion and your importance. If you start to be, because again, when we are listening, we're not listening to her saying, I don't want to go. We are listening, what's her feeling? We have to search the fact. And she says, well, it's boring, a bunch of grown-ups there, and nothing interesting. So we have one clue. The next clue, you see, we didn't investigate more. So what will make it go if we go? What will be interesting? Will you go with a friend or whatever? You have all different ways. But again, you see, I'm like this guy, Ray. I'm very solution-oriented guy. Because I told you yesterday, again and again, it's good to know how one works. I'm very solution-giving because I've studied a lot. And so that's not healthy for the 6-year kid. Because I'm going to just provide all this different information and you have to go because mom is going to have many more birthdays. Very correct and very reasonable, but again, not following her feelings. Content-wise, the Ray is saying perfectly true, but again, he's not attending the kid. So again, being bored, being those mistrust of feelings, what else is there? So she will be able to say, oh, so you want to have fun, because basically, what's her plan here? No friend, no relationship. I'm by myself lonely. Did you hear all that? The 6-year kid saying. And then you can say, oh, you feel lonely. Let's have different. Then you come up with a different solution. Not just to ground. Not going to be easy because 6-year-old doesn't have any reasoning. So they're going to bug you again and again. But not only 6-year-old kid. When we are adult and we get upset, we are 6-year-old. I know. So imagine criticism, judgment, diagnosis, and expression of the anger is a tragic expression of unmet need. And I thought many times when we have our body, when we are not good, fever is a good indicator. Very good to have this indicator. If we don't have fever, we don't know how we are sometimes. Anger is a very good indicator of your emotional state. And it's important. Fever can be cause infection, cut, bruise, cold, whatever. And you are not going to give yourself antibiotic for infection or for cold. You're going to use different thing, right? Infection, antibiotic, cold, not good. Same thing with the anger. The anger tells you there's a unmet need. There's a bunch of need. And so you will see expectation not met, or you lost somebody, or you lost a dog, or it's not coming out as you would like to. Your family, your friend ditched you. There are so many different things that anger is an indicator where am I at. That's why again, the person that needs to be at the spotlight is the person that is telling you what they are going through. And this is just for you to think too. That's a Niagara Fall. When you are upset, when I was young, I was like a Niagara Fall. I was just, wow! When I was in Paraguay, someone was like laughing at me. I was 16, 17 years old, And so I would go home to him, I'll take him to the restroom, and I'll have a big fight. But guess what? After the fight, my anger's gone. I'm like so transparent. People think, I don't hold grudge. I don't hold grudge. Well, this one you let it out, so you don't hold grudge. Maybe that's enough. And I'm good because I don't hold grudge. You kidding me? You did all the hurtful way. You even hit him. So sometimes when you have you see all those different emotional words that I gave you yesterday. That's one of them. There are a bunch of them. If you just Google emotional word, bunch of them will come out. Because for you to not just feel one single emotion just doing everything for you, that's so poor way of being emotional. Or the other one, this one is a lake, and there's a bunch of things there. If you go to the city kind of lake, and it's so calm, it seems kind of clean, but if you go near, it smells. A lot of people, some people say, to this kind of dealing with the emotion, they are so calm. They just take it in everything, and they are so at peace. They are so calm. But inside, who knows what they have? So this kind of a way of dealing with the emotion is not so healthy either. This is where we're going to go. Hot and cold, just the amount, not easy for me. But at least, I used to be like this too. Because in seminary, I have to be so obedient. So I was, becoming things that, because if you want to be a priest, you have to be obedient. And I was okay. But sometimes I don't this, and that's important to know how you are. Because now I try to be this way. When I'm kind of full, when I'm hot, how to measure I'm not just blowing out all one water. I try to see what's happening with my emotion. And it's good for your health too. So again, I have sound making hand, so I have to see myself and where I am. So it's not just one big thing, and one big thing, I'm so full and no grudge. Here, the grudges, and I'm calm, at least at peace, so people don't, but I smell inside. So you have to kind of see yourself where you are. You see nothing to be judged by. Just know, then you can work it over here. If you think you're here, good for you too. Now this is, what time is it?
It's a quarter to 8.
Quarter to 8. Okay. This is the life position box. If you Google again, if you Google it, life position box, you will get this. Okay? And it kind of gives 4 sides to I'm okay, you are okay, I'm not okay, with that 4 line, they give you a different way where you are at. It's also to see yourself how you are. And I will start with this one first part. This is a power dialogue part. And we do this a lot. I do this a lot, by the way. I am always tempted to go here. When I am okay, okay means, when you are saying okay, the person is right, correct, try to do his best, so you see he's okay. I mean, I'm okay. I'm okay and you're not okay. That's where we go blaming game. Not game. Adam blames Eve, Eve blames the serpent kind of thing. I'm not doing okay. One option is called power dialogue because of your older, because you have an upper position, because you are parent, because you are couple PhDs, whatever, all these things create power imbalance in our life, okay? And when I'm especially knowledgeable, I tend to see you not doing so good. So when you come to dialogue, it's like when I come to that dialogue, I have to talk about the frustration that I have. So imagine when I was in Madrid, I took like about 40 kids, teenagers, to the convention, to the retreat. Okay? And there were about 17-year-old and 18-year-old. They were so agitated. And I was so young too. I was very young. I was in early 30s and I was so immature. I'm still immature, but I wasn't immature. I was worse back then. So, I put the rules down. You cannot chew the gum, you cannot sleep in, you cannot eat in the room, and all these different rules that we set up just to, make things easy. And there was a couple of them that couldn't just obey. And I was getting bothered, and I supposed to understand and forgive and all that, right? You kidding me? So I called the parents. You come and pick your kid up. I'm not putting up with this now. And he started begging me, no, I was trying to do better, don't call. And I already called, sorry, you have to go. And I was telling him, told you to obey this, and that. And after he got picked up, so the rest of them, I gathered them. Like this. And I told them, who's next? Who's next? That's it. See, we get into this because I want them to obey certain things. I go to the power. So I have all forceful, demanding, criticizing, and when I talk to this person will be like this. Sheepish dialogue. When I'm powerful, I'm not okay because the person is kicked out. I'm not okay, you're okay, and we start to be very just, whatever you say. No, say, look at two things, whatever you say. And then I have to hide myself because this going to guys can kick me out. And when the father's gone, when I'm out, I start to complain. Right? Because here, these are all what breaking the relationships. Because if I am selfish and just say, okay, whatever you say, I will obey. Well, outward, no problem, but inward, you're not going to last long in this kind of relationship. And here, I will last long because did I stay? You went home. But then, imagine If I call everybody, I'll be staying by myself. That would be sad, don't you think? That would be bad. So this one again, power dialogue. When you get to the temptation, I also have to think about I'm breaking. Although I'm very interested in giving good advice, good words, direction, guidance. Those are all good. We are going to get rid of that. But are they ready? Are they enough? The guy that guy kicked out, I went to see him again after the retreat. He understood that he did wrong, so he was pretty, at ease. But he never opened me up again. He didn't come to my confession anymore to me because he knew that I'll be mad. I can be hurtful. So it creates breaking. He will be outward, he will come to church, and he will be like, hey, haha. But inward, he has a big wall right there that I can see him. He's not going to bond with me anymore. So a lot of times I have a lot of problems putting people up, but I'm doing best. I'm doing better now. But you have to see also this one goes a lot of times into our lives. And then here is, I'm not okay and you are not okay. This is the part that I cannot deal with this guy. I know that. And why fight? Let's just live together. Sometimes I see this kind of convenient living even in the house. My mom and dad, now they are better, but when they are in their 50s, they start to use separate rooms. Because my mom said, I don't feel like being next to this guy. And my mom, I'm exaggerating, by the way, because they also said, my son is going to be a priest, and he's going to be a chaste person. Why don't we be a chaste? But why don't we be a chaste came from my mom, not my father. My father wanted to have her. So she kind of, no, you're not coming near me. And my mom felt so liberated. You go touch someone else's neck. My mom was like, but you see, I don't know what to do with you. And so, hopeless position. In this, when you go to this position, a lot of divorces, a lot of suicide, a lot of nothing gets solved. Sayonara. Sayonara. That's sayonara. Sayonara is God. I'm mom. And very important that when we go to this kind of, sooner or later, we take positions many times in this positional life. We are in one bus, or in another bus, we continue to change in many different buses. Okay? So it's not just a set. But sooner or later, we all try to be here. This healthy position. I'm okay and you are okay. You are doing your best, I'm doing my best. Despite the conflict that we have, the 6-year-old, she's doing her best to protect her interests. I'm not going because it's boring. But the father is, no, let's go and celebrate the birthday. Different interest comes in. But here, we have to start to see, you're okay, I'm okay. I'm okay, and you are not going to the grandmother's fiesta, you bad girl, you clown. You see, it's go like that, then we are not going to have much. We are going to get again and again into this kind of, and you will feel alone. Nobody listening to me anymore. And people will give you their back. People give back. We give back to protect our lives. I'm not talking to you. Because if I talk, if you are all black hole kind of thing, okay? Ray, that we saw the video Ray. Ray is like this, right? He's okay. But as he is okay, and nobody else is not okay, then should we all go to this threatening, blaming? Imagine if the girl gets grounded for not going to the mother or grandma's fiesta. And she's like, oh, and father didn't go because he has to take care of this girl. Fight they will have, and the animosity they will have. Does that sound familiar or not? Hopefully not. So, I want to a little more. What does it mean to see others with okay? Even those people that I cannot understand, those who don't understand, they are doing their best, always following their own formula. We have all formula to live. For example, a friend should be able to, imagine a friend comes and he says, you know what, I need $3 million. I'm going to get the bank from the bank. You being my friend, could you go to bank with me and you, Aban? Cosign. Can you cosign? Well, some people have, you have trust. Friends has to be trust. I will cosign. But some will say, never do that. Different formula. Everyone has different formula about that kind of situation. Okay? So, since we all have different way of thinking and doing, we'll be always somewhat incomplete. But we have to think, they are doing their best. We cannot just say, my way is better and your ways are not. Then we go to this, I'm okay and you're not okay kind of box. Okay? So, what does that formula mean? My experience, learning, culture, tradition, family, blah, 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 all become years through formula that we have. It's interesting, today, in Turchas, there's a Richard. Richard is a teacher, I guess. And he says, when he sees the numbers, he sing a song. When I see a number, I see a headache. But this guy sees the number and he says, I see the song. What an interesting way of seeing things. I wish I could have that kind of thing when I was studying. I never had this number singing. Number always kind of got me in trouble. But see, that's what it was. So when two formulas enter conflict, what do you do? And that's again coming back to the listening. Iceberg. Because when you get to conflict, imagine you sign the cosine and you come to home and your wife and you didn't consult her. Okay? My father is like that. My father cosigned the thing and my mother was so upset. And they had a big fight. It's like this. In my house, I sometimes you think about UFO. I believe UFO. Because all these things are flying in my house. I do believe in UFO. I don't know where it comes from, but they're all flying. So sad. So violent in my house. Anyway, I wish my parents were able to say, honey, sit down. Let me say my formula, and let me see why I don't cosine, and why did you cosine, and how come you cosine. And we could have all these different dialogue, but did they have a dialogue? You kidding? They are just cats and dogs. They were like big fighters. UFC, do you see UFC sometimes? When I was like younger, I used to have a UFC in my house. You know, those are restaurants. Because my family didn't build bridge. My father and mother didn't work to build the bridge. And that's always been so sad. So another thing that I would like, you know, when you have this conflict, you have to see your formula. Sometimes this formula trap works so hard, and sometimes doesn't. Afterwards, it doesn't work. It's like my mom and my dad, you know, come till 10. Okay, they worked till when I was like 17, 18. I become 20, 30. If my mom and dad says, hey, you didn't come till 10, and I say, oh mom, come on. I'm not a kid. You have to change the time. The formula that we set when you're young, when I'm young, it's not the same because I'm not a kid anymore, mom. Let's talk about setting the different formula for the house too. You know, because again, why come till 10 o'clock? For the safety. My mom doesn't want to be worried. You know, you have to be prepared for your tomorrow. You know, she has all these good reasons. Can we do that at 30 years old and still saving the same goal? Save, prepare for tomorrow and all that, but still counting my energy level and my responsible level and my different level, so we can have a different family thing, life. Not just you didn't come, so where's what time is it? Thank you. Hey, good. Anyway, any questions? Now, you saw how the role play went, right? I wrote that thing also. Today, same thing. We all to pair up 3 and 3. But hopefully you can pair up whoever you want, okay? But this time you practice. Think about the clap, concrete clap, okay? Like Anna, for example. I know I'm just speaking on the I don't know you, okay? Because I don't know how her life is. But imagine she gets into a fight with her mom. Because mom says, study harder, and more, and stay. Okay? Those kind of things you bring and you talk. You know what? I have a mother. They so always bug me that I'm studying, and I'm tired of it. And then you are going to attend. Oh, how many hours do you study? Oh, what's happening? You feel upset. You feel like you are like, your mom is like overpowering you and top of you, and you feel like nobody. The kind of thing, you see, you can kind of search the feeling, and then you can say, but I mean, what's the thing? Leave me alone. I'm 16 years old. I can find my own way to study. You know, it's not like when you were studying when you were young. Kind of. So there's different values and motivations. Getting it or not? So, Walter, can you turn the light on again for me? So today, same thing. I hope you get some practice. I hear you, you know, so one person talk and you 10. You know, you are like, again, the salt water and the plant. So you are asking questions to make them just spit out. And again, if you feel like when you're talking, you feel, I feel unsafe, then you raise hand. And what made you unsafe? What made you not spit out anymore? Because there are always words like I told you last time, yesterday, that are you bad? You know, and I say, so you're not studying? That's not going to make a lot of spitting to do. Okay? So let's practice that a little bit. Idea? Questions? Oh, you want to have a role play here? Anybody volunteer? You want to see a show? Or you want to do it yourself? I think it's better to do yourselves again, okay? And then whatever is like not working, then you will let us come together and then let us again have some question answer time. Okay? So team up, pair up. 3 or 4, it's fine. 3 or 4. 3 or 4.